Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Especially if you're going to bed, it's always nice to be told good night, right? So folks, lots of stuff going on, and it seems, regardless of what this back and forth thing is and stuff like that, we still need to report on it and kind of just minimize the drama and just kind of get what is current out there. And I thought I'd better get this one up quick because it's got such a captivating title for the everyday user. In effect, it's a grabber. It really does grab. But someone said to me last night, and they were pretty rude to me, actually. And they were saying, I get paid thousands of pounds a month to do what I'm doing, and I don't. I wish I did. That'd be really good, because then I'd have to stop taking stuff out of my savings every month. But the matter of the fact is, YouTube pays me about £1,400 a month after I pay out taxes. I'm like far from rich. I hold small bags. I'm not a whale holder of anything. That's, I don't talk about something because I hold lots of it. I talk about it because I'm either inspired by it or I'm part of the movement and understand the overall broader consensus of things. Like, I'm not a whale holder of punks, so I'm not talking about them to get my own bag higher. Like, there's no benefit from me doing it. I don't get paid to do it or anything like that. In fact, if I had accepted every single, I've already had 6 this morning of different companies that want me to promote either coins, gym equipment. I'm just waiting for one from whiskey, to be quite honest. I don't know. I might have to get on board with a whiskey one. Joking. So moving over to the article, the mint nothing and burn 178 billion Lunar Classic immediately option. And Alex, if you're listening, you don't need to talk to us like we're morons, okay? We are human beings. We understand things. It's really strange how, just because people don't like an idea, so to speak, they don't understand it, or, no one's a lower form of human being. Everyone's equal on this planet. You may be smart at, doing what you're doing, but you might not be able to change a car tire. So there's different levels of intelligence. So the all-important 17th burn page of our original draft proposal, which we've been through, which in retrospect I should have put on the title page. Only 22% of readers apparently made it that far. Alex, I did go through the whole thing in a live stream and covered the whole thing, buddy. Carried the key presumption that the swap is disabled during this time, but because that's the most conservative, prudent approach to re-enabling the swap, which would mean that the first 140 million of USTN minted using USD 85 million worth of Lunar Classic taken from the Oracle Rewards distributor and converted to BCC as no collateral wouldn't burn any Lunar Classic, as the sheet in the original white paper showed. However, we repurposed Lunar Classic from the Oracle Rewards distributor solely to secure BTC collateral, thus not minting any new LUNC, and B, the LUNC USTN swap were enabled from the start, then the burn wouldn't start at 172.5 million USTN of circulating supply. It'd start at 0, and 189 billion Lunar Classic will be burned during the process of minting the first 140 million USTN below. And I'm just going to state it outright. The community's likely going to go for this because you're dangling 189 billion burn in it. They're likely going to see that and go, well, that's great. I don't need to read the rest. Let's vote for this. So I think it's very, people go through the full proposal and understand exactly what this route means and everything like that. You can go check out my live stream. I went through the whole thing from top to bottom. And it really is a long read. It's not easy to read through something that long. So this carries its own risk. We'd be managing USTN live on-chain from the very beginning, although it wouldn't be listed on other CEXs yet. So we'd have a near total control of on-chain liquidity, and our capital controls would be extremely robust. This will change over time as liquidity seeps to other venues, where we control various aspects of capital controls, but in the beginning we'd have near total control over it. But regardless, we need more on-chain use cases for USTN to soak up USTN supply, like launching new on-chain liquidity pools, a new DEX, etc. We need significant infrastructure that doesn't currently exist. This will probably take more time to prepare before the swap is re-enabled. And most importantly, As in all of our other proposals thus far, it would require the total or near total repeal of the current tax regime. So that means getting rid of the 1.2% burn tax, which is why I'm saying you might get to that, 189 billion, but keep reading. Okay, it would also require the repeal of the tax regime, which has destroyed on-chain liquidity, failed to live up to anything close to what it promised, and is living on borrowed time. We're almost through 2 weeks of the promised 4-week Binance charity burn, and Binance basically said that they won't continue the burn unless taxes are significantly cut or most or all other CEXs adopt the burn policy. Anyway, while I think the community is focused on burning to a point that damages other long-term priorities, prudent risk management, ecosystem development, reeling USTC holders back into the ecosystem at a trivial customer acquisition cost, the ecosystem paralysis caused by the 1.2% tax status quo is toxic enough for the chain that almost any other solution would be preferable, and a growing segment of the community seems to agree. If it requires notching up the risk level a gradient to give the community a burn that dwarfs whatever we'll get from CXs, well, it can be done, and it's probably worth the risk if it can partially or totally reserve 90% loss in on-chain liquidity we've seen from the 1.2% burn tax. So this is kind of where it goes into a bickering match, and I'm just not going to read it because it's more or less bickering. Now, what I want to kind of speak about is that it's pretty clear and it's pretty obvious to more or less everyone right now that there is some kind of internal issue going on. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why the need to keep putting different proposals, someone else, this, that, and the other. Why are we not under one banner? Why are we now working against each other? Why is it someone else's proposal's dumb and mine's the best, or that this proposal's better and that one's dumb? And I'm really confused as to why we're not under one banner anymore, and why Terra Rebels isn't moving under one banner, and why the need to say this, that, and the other. But the fact that one of them wants to get rid of the burn tax and is completely against it, but wants to also then burn 189 billion Lunar Classic to rope more people in. I'm very confused, and it's not nice to see this from my perspective. And I'm going to give it to you straight how I see it and how it's rolling in my head. I'm seeing, factions. Vegas' side, Alex's side, Ed's side, Zardar's side, and I'm just super confused. I'm not confused. It's a bad word to use, really. I'm surprised this is happening, and then also not surprised. And then there's also another movement going on where there's 2 other Discord. I don't even know anymore. It's a struggle to keep up with a lot of stuff. But what I like to gauge from this as well is that it's forward movement. It is forward movement, but at the same time, we can't keep treating one another like, hey, this person's stupid because my, plan's better, and I'm smarter than you guys because I know how to write. It just doesn't give off the right kind of look. And then, writing in a Medium article about Binance, this is going to cause a load of issues. So as far as I'm aware, Binance are continuing the burning until further notice. And it's as simple as that. And that's what was said in their white paper. As to what was said in Binance's AMA yesterday, lots of things can be interpreted from what he said, and lots of routes could be taken from what he said. So I think it's kind of open to interpretation. But let me know what you think about this one, Dokes. Let me know what's going on in your heads. Let me know about the avatar. And just stay safe, okay? Don't let this make you think that Binance is going to stop the burn tax, this, that, and the other, and that it's destroying on-chain liquidity and this, that, and the other. Because if there was so much of a drive into finding new projects, new utility use cases as there is into these USTN, kind of proposals, maybe the volume wouldn't be dying. If you put time into Lunar Classic, it's going to give you time back. You can't just sit there and go, well, it's not working. It's not working. You need to do things. You need to get involved with the coin. It's not. Let me know what you think. Stay safe. It's not financial advice. Catch you in the next one, guys.